I am going to try to scroll back up and see what you guys said real quick. But I will not scroll that far back up. So if I do miss what you say, let me know. Crime Crackers. Video game. Confirmed? I can confirm it's a video game. When we talk about video games, there's good and bad things. Let's talk about the good things. Let me scroll to see what you said, Mr. T. The good. Appealing anime art style. Appealing aesthetic. I'll agree with that. Probably spells it wrong, but that's okay. Unique. I'm gonna put your unique take on the first-person shooter here for a second. Let me put it on the board here. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to agree with you on that. Yes. Good music. I agree. Good music. Good OST. Like, I don't feel like there's anything to say beyond good OST, I guess. So, okay. Let me scroll down. Infinite Ben, Ghetto Chat. Okay, you agree with Mr. T saying little to no pack. We'll put that in the bad section. All right, then you're talking about the bad already. Okay. Music is pretty good. That's an agree. Cool animation. It is a long animation. I don't know if that's like full ending. I'll put it there for now because I feel like this is a game I'm gonna really have to scrape for me personally. So okay. So this is what we got for me going back and look at this. No music. Sorry. Music. Okay. Let me tackle these points. Appealing aesthetic, I agree with. It is like that nice kind of 90s anime aesthetic. I think that's something that stands out a bit more today than it does probably back whenever, you know, it came out. You know, this probably feels pretty close to most other games of this era. But I think visually it looks nice. I think the character designs, like the enemy designs, are like fun. Like, I think that's a big thing. I think the character designs in general are fun. I do have some issues here with, like, some of the lady character designs just being a little too straightforward. It's kind of that problem you have with, like, the guys. Always, like, there's a lot more ways to play with guys because they like, people are not so precious about them, like, maintaining that shape or whatever. So the male characters, they, like, have a lot more fun with, like, they're just being, like, a chicken dude and, like, the dragon man. Where Amelia, the fox girl, and the devil girl, while cute, are just kind of people. but like, I think everything like is kind of fun from the visual side of things as well with the enemies and things like that. So I think it's appealing aesthetic. I don't know. Do you think it's worth like specifying character designs? Because I think that is something this game does well generally. Beyond that complaint I just said, appealing aesthetic and character. I guess that could be a part of aesthetic. Okay. Here's where I'm going to start, like, cutting slices. So, when we talk about appealing aesthetic, right? When I think about how this game looks from a, like, a gameplay perspective and, like, running through dungeons, I don't necessarily know if this game looks appealing, right? When you think about the game itself, when you're playing through the game, it is square hallways with textures and like it's mostly just like space textures, right? Are we really talking about the cute character designs? I think that's maybe what we're talking about, like the anime character designs. Did I mess that up in how I wrote it down? Appealing anime art style. Yeah, so I think I wrote that down wrong from what Mr. T said. So I think it is. Would you be happy, Mr. T, if I said appealing character designs? Because I think that's what I'm really a fan of here. Because I think the rest is kind of whatever kind of thing. Texture warping is something that happens in every PlayStation game. Or most PlayStation games, I should say. So I'm not too worried about that. And it doesn't really affect the game that much, I don't think. Yeah, character designs. I would agree with that. I think I overcomplicated that by trying to simplify the language. So I think that was my bad on there. So appealing character designs. Unique take for FPS. So I guess the question is like, what is unique here? I know this is hard to like say in the chat or whatever, but I have a really hard time trying to think about like what's unique about it per se. It feels very Mega Man Legends in how it controls. A dungeon crawling shooter, I guess. I guess it is kind of like a dungeon crawling shooter. And movement and aiming. I don't know if that's a positive, I will say. Like, yeah. Let me think about this. Is this unique? I guess that's the one thing. Like, what is that game called? Like, I feel like there are other games like this that maybe are presented a little differently, but are that kind of first-person, like, shooter through like very cut and paste dungeon kind of areas. Like, am I thinking of Zybots or something like that for the Atari? Zybots, Atari, or it's like an arcade game. Like, I feel like there are a lot of games like Zybots and things like that, and I feel like this fits pretty close to that. It is third person versus first person. And I feel like there are other games that do that look. Like, isn't there like there's like a Virtual Boy one, isn't there, that does that kind of thing? There's Faceball 2000. Am I wrong in thinking that? Like, I just feel like this kind of thing is not too particularly unique. Let me look at some Faceball gameplay. There's a bunch of different versions of Faceball here. Oh god, it's so loud. Let me see if I can show you guys Faceball real quick. I am already using that browser source. I'm just gonna make a new one because I'm very lazy. But yeah, like when I think of, like, you have games like Faceball. This is on the Game Gear version specifically, but PC Engine CD version. Maybe this is like a multiplayer shooter. And I guess you do have more control of your aim. It has like a bounding box kind of approach, like a Wii game almost, which is kind of interesting. Sort of like a Men of Valor kind of thing. Not this game that I'm looking at, but just thinking about like this. And I was thinking about Zybots earlier as well. I guess I think I see what you mean by it feeling kind of like a unique thing. But I also feel like it feels very close to these things. And kind of the big thing is that it's using 3D graphics, and you do have like some more free momentum. Well, the Faceball has more free momentum in it as well. So almost looks Contra-ish in some ways, actually. Zybots always seemed like a really cool game. I have never played it, but it seems neat. Does anyone else have any? I guess that's the big thing, is I just can't think of like a great case for that. No more Zybots. Please pause Zybots. I don't know. Does anyone else feel differently? I know Mr. T kind of pitched that. Alex, I don't know if you feel that it's kind of a unique take for that as well. I would not say it's unique. Maybe that's the thing I would maybe want to change. Maybe we don't want to use the word unique. This is one of those things where, like, I think always the easiest solution is like distinct, right? Like we're not saying it's a unique thing, where it's like a distinct thing. I don't know if that fixes my problem with the statement, though, I guess. I don't know. Can I get a show of support for the unique take on FPS in chat at all? I don't really have anything to say about good OST. Cool ending animation is cool. Let me think. Is there anything I want to think about with this game? Like, I guess I haven't really thought about what I want to put on this list yet. Feel free to argue the distinct take or unique take for FPS though while I do that. If you have anything else to really add on to that. I think for me, geez, I think the story seems like it's neat. It's not presented in a particularly flashy way. You know, I generally could follow it. There's definitely parts I got lost on. But it more or less seemed to be like just, you know, making sure this evil planet thing didn't get revived. There's definitely a lot of characters though, and there's like some fun anime antics and stuff like that, like when we have to go run on like get the mushrooms or whatever. Like there is like that kind of like anime style like storytelling in some ways. There's like sometimes you have kind of these like intermittent missions and things like that don't really matter that much. I think that's something that I believe. Is chat going slow? I think chat might be going slow. Yeah, sorry. I think the chat wasn't updating because I didn't have like the window open or something. I need to make sure that's open. Yeah. It's one game you probably wouldn't get this. I think Hexen is one of those. I know there's like some build engine games better than this. Yeah. We'll leave it as distinct. I don't know if I'm even particularly happy with that. I don't want to say unique. I know that much. But yeah. Also, can I show all chat? It's only showing top chat for some reason. Okay. Remember, guard your privacy. Oh man, this one's hard. I'm having a hard time thinking of good things to say about Crime Crackers. The story seems fun. Can't read JP. Like it seems fun. It seems well put together. Seems good. The story seems like good, I think. Like I think it's not great, I think, but it seems good. Like as somebody who can't really read anything, that was the impression I got. And I did enjoy following it. I will say that. And I think that's like all we can really say in that regard. I think that's the one thing I want to add on there. I think that might be the best I got. Like, I don't know if there's much else I can really throw on here. Feeling character designs, distinct take for an FPS. I don't really agree 100% with that, but I can kind of see where you're coming from, I think. Can we say like PS1 FPS? Maybe something like that? Maybe that's like a bit more specific. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to think about it too much longer. Let me know if that's like a fine way to put that. Unless you guys really have a problem with it. It is really probably a statement that you guys are more likely to be agreeing with. So if I'm getting what you're saying wrong, then feel free to give me something that you think would be better. I do want to avoid unique though, because I do think that there's other things like it. But I think I do see where you're coming from, and just like how it moves is weird. But yeah, story seems good. I think that's the best I can say about that. I think probably the story is where this game's strength probably is at, if anything. Cool ending animation. Man, I feel like that's a very sad list. Sorry, I got a little hole behind me. I feel like there's a very sad list of good. All right, well, we can come back to that later if we need to. The bad. I think Mr. T, you gave a list of the bad earlier. Let me see what you said. Overstays is welcome. Clunky combat. Not enough gact. Always not enough gact. Level design is convoluted. Yeah. Yeah. Bland and confusing level design. Very little gameplay variety. Overstays its welcome. Visually, I think the level design's visually not great too, although I'm not the kind of person who appreciates like the dungeon color thing. So like I think that's maybe a split point there for me. It's visually repetitive, maybe. I think overstays its welcome. Very little gameplay variety might cover that. Yeah. Are we good on this? This, it seems pretty straightforward. All right. Well, I feel so bad. I'm like, I'm not looking forward to see how this turns out. All right, let's talk about the score. Let me get some of this like moved a little bit just to, oh, come on. We're gonna hide our chat, so don't worry about the chat being covered. I'm mainly just trying to 2 stars, 2 stars, the double 2 stars. Alex, you got a score? Like your barrier? Generous and say 1. Let me think about what I want to do here real quick. I know you weren't here the whole time of Electric Barrier, but I'll be honest with you, I think you largely saw the majority of the game. Well, I will say this. Very little about the game made me upset. Sorry, I'm like off the screen here. Very little about the game made me upset. So I don't think I want to go 1. I think 1.5 is a little low for me too. Part of me, look, Crime Crackers is not a bad game, right? But it's very, 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 very straightforward. I think if it was half the length. Oh, we were going to talk about this earlier. So yeah, Joseph, just to kind of reiterate the overstaying its welcome thing. And I'd be really curious to hear your thoughts on this if you feel differently. Very little about the game seemed complicated enough that language would have helped us. I think about that maze sequence where we have to go find our weapons. I knew what I had to do, but I can't think of any way, because there was no map, no compass, no nothing. I can't think of any way that like having any kind of like Japanese understanding would have helped with that. There was a couple situations where maybe I would have better understood the specific objectives, but it very rarely was that like hard to figure out some particular things. Like, okay, here's the one trip up I had. The one trip was not knowing, not thinking about reutilizing key items from previous dungeons. And there's that one dungeon where we had to put in the different key doors or whatever. And I mostly don't think that, I don't think most of the things we ran into were language barrier based. And the one thing that was language barrier based, like the pyramid with like the text on the screen, I think that was probably one of the most entertaining parts of the game. So even if it did slow us down, I don't think that is what I'm thinking of when I think about how slow this game was to roll. Because the pyramid dungeon, I think, is the highlight of this game. Is it amazing? No. I think it's the highlight of this game for sure. So yeah, I think I definitely stick with like it overstays its welcome even without the language barrier. Maybe someday somebody will be able to be like, no, you got this wrong because of this, but I just can't think of too many ways that it would have gotten in the way, kind of thing. So I forgot I closed or I don't have the chat open, so the chat's not updating. Sorry for ghetto chat here. Oh, where's my chat at? Oh, Zero's in here. Hey, Zero. Yeah, chat's bad right now, Zero. I'm sorry. 3, that's really high. 2.5, just be nice. Yeah, it's okay. Sorry. Yeah, it's okay. I've been also not doing good on getting the chat updating properly, so I have to leave it open or else it stops updating. And if I click on anything, it goes back behind the thing, so yeah. I think 2 is fine. There was so, like, because I try to use these, like, faces at a barometer here and, like, think about my feelings in relation to these faces. And I don't think there was any points, really, where I felt the center thing. I do not feel like I smiled. I did not feel particularly happy playing this game at any point. And I feel like if I'm here, there should be moments that make me smile at 2.5, right? And there are definitely parts of the game that I think were a little better, but none of it was like, ah, yes. And maybe the one thing, like, if we're talking about the fact that we can't read Japanese, maybe the one thing is if I could better understand the story, that could bring me up to a 2.5, I think. Yeah, it'd be nice if, I mean, I could probably upload them to the Discord and not get in trouble. But yeah. So I think I'm in agreement that a 2 is probably the place to be. It is a very neutral feeling game. Ugh. Are we leaning towards 1.5? Can I get... Personally, if I'm using these faces, I feel like there was not enough, like, I did not feel that grumbly about this game. There are definitely times that I felt annoyed, especially towards the end, but it was, like, not that bad. The last dungeon I felt like was probably the most frustrating to deal with. Sorry, I don't think we have any music here, so, but I'm not going to fix it. We're already deep enough in. Oh, here it is. Found it. All right. Minus 5 stars. Oh, man. I don't know if I want to go 1.5. 1.5 is best? Oh, no. 0. You said 3, right? 0? Can I use you as my offset here? 2 stars is fine. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna say 2 stars. I think 2 stars is where we're gonna sit. Yeah. I think that's my thing, 0. Is like, nothing about the game felt offensive. It just kind of felt like they had something, they built it. And that was kind of it. They had something, they built it, they made a video game for launch that you could buy and play through. Yeah, that was a nice touch. There are some presentational things that are nice, but very little, I would say. So, yeah. All right, I think we're gonna stick with 2. I know there's some wiggle room here that we're looking at with 1.5 and maybe a 2.5. I think I wouldn't feel good going 2.5. I feel very hesitant about 1.5. I could probably get behind a 1.5, but yeah, I think that face is what best represents this game. Neutral expression. Better than Sonic and the Black Knight. Sonic and the Black Knight was a game of frustration for me, so yeah. All right. Well, let me see if I can actually do this in a way that's not gonna be bad. So I'm gonna get rid of me. Gonna get rid of chat. Go away. Okay, thank you. What are you guys doing hanging around there? All right. And then what are we doing here? This right? All right, I'm gonna do a little something here real quick. Okay. I think I might have messed some stuff up here, but all right. Here comes the stamp. Here comes the stamp. Boy, boy, boy. Did that work? I don't think it worked. All right. Excuse me? Sorry, this is not playing nice today. Okay. Everything is breaking today. Did you guys get a stamp noise there? You should have got a stamp noise. It went through. Okay, good. Oh my god. Oh, the first point. Thank you. I don't know, man. This is unprecedented. Editing text after the stamp, but it's been a weird end of the stream for this game, so all right. I do think it's good to like have the can't read JP on there specifically, rather than say can't read. Like there's a problem where we can't read the game, like the game can't be read. All right, so let me move the battle over a little bit more. Ram it in. I feel so bad. I don't know. I feel like Crime Crackers isn't a game that we should beat up on, but at the same time, I think it is definitely worthy of all the beating up we gave it. Oh, geez, Louise. I don't know why that was so stressful for me. Maybe because the technology or the tech problems behind it and stuff. They can't all be winners. It is true.